Range fans and Reloaders Network. We're back on the range again today on a beautiful day, but quite windy. So right away, I apologize for any of the wind noise. I'm going to try to muff that out and see how well I can do in post-processing of this video. But anyways, if you saw my previous video, you know I've been doing some exploration with the old Taurus, my 357 Magnum testing platform. I've got 130 grain Federal HST wad cutters that we're going to put across the 357 Magnum, across the chronograph, as long as nothing blows over on me today. And we've got some 180 grain and 187 grain 357 Magnums that we're going to put across the chronograph and see how they do down on target and see what the ballistics come out like. So let's get to shooting, folks. All right, I got 7 rounds in the old 357 Magnum. Let's put them across the chronograph and see how they come out. We're going to shoot it single action. By the way, I've got the old eagle-eye target camera up downrange. And man, Kenny, I apologize for this, but good gosh, it's been blown over 3 times now and hit the deck from the chronograph, but it's still recording. So at least I've done some durability testing. Let's see what the video footage comes out like downrange. Woo, hits hard. It's real hard. I'm 10 yards downrange, folks. Last round. Good gosh. Some of those rounds got up to 1,500 feet per second. We'll show you the average downrange. Again, I'm about 10 yards downrange. Let's get down to the chronograph and see what we did. All right, here we go. 130 grain across the chronograph. Let's review. 1546, 1523, 1458, 1489, 1474, 1350, high of 1546, and a low of 1350. Man, this powder didn't measure too well. An average of 1475, extreme spread of 196. So if you remember in the last video, you guys said it was the Tula primers. Well, I have swapped over to the Winchester primers. Didn't seem to make much of a difference. Standard deviation is 62. And there you have it, folks. Now, we're going to move on to the 187 grain cast. Let's swap over to a new string and see how the 187 grain does. Well, folks, I apologize for the Kenny Eagle Eye review. I've screwed this up yet a second time. With my cell phone, I have a mandatory timeout. Long story, I won't go into it. Has to do with the job. I have a mandatory timeout so that the screen goes blank. When the screen goes blank, the screen recorder that you have to use actually goes blank. So I have to find a new screen recorder or either find a way not to make my screen go blank. But neither here nor there, I still got some great footage of the chronograph, and you saw that. And now we're bumping up to the 187 grain. Good gracious alive. Look at that thing. 187 grain, 7 shots across the chronograph. I'm going to use my other camera to try to capture chronograph and also target data downrange. Let's put these 187s across the chronograph. Do a little shooting single action. Ooh, hits hard. That wind's blowing pretty good. It's blowing me all over the place. Hitting hard down range. That's 4. It's 5. I don't think I turned on the camera down range. That's 6. And 7. Man, all in a pretty good group. I don't think I turned on that camera down range, but we'll get a after shot and also the average of the rounds. Let's go down range. All right, I didn't turn on the camera down range, folks, but you can see the chronograph results here, and we'll show you the target here in a minute. So this is the 187 grain Bone Crusher. 184, 1151, 1180, 1176, 1189, 1187, 1009. Wow. The high of 1189, a low of 1009. Maybe my lead powder measure is not throwing as accurate. 1139 is the average. Extreme spread of 180. Standard deviation of 68. Yeah, I don't think my lead powder measure is throwing as accurate, but that's okay. We'll get that resolved. Now, I'm going to zoom out to the target. Check that out, folks. That's that 1187. Awesome grouping down range. That's 7 shots. Now, stay tuned, because I got a little something special coming up. Next time, I'll get the camera turned on down range. All right, folks. I brought something a little different out with me today. Anybody want to take a guess? Maybe. That's right. It's a Marlin 357 Magnum 38 special lever action. I've got some Skinner peep sights on it with a gold bead front dot, and looking to put those same 187 grainers across the chronograph. And again, I'm 10 yards down range. I do know I have the camera recording now down range, so you can see the hits and also the chronograph results at the same time. Now, the one thing I noticed about my 130 grain HSTs that I loaded in 357 Magnum, they won't chamber. They won't chamber in the 357 Magnum lever action. They're a little bit too long, folks. Just a tad bit too long, so the gate won't close all the way. So, we're going to go with the 187 grain out of the lever and see how it does down range. This should be a hard hitter. Dead accurate. This should be a serious critter getter. Being dead accurate. I don't think my lead powder measure on the turret press is throwing as consistent as it should be. We'll get home and check that out and maybe tighten up the screws and see what's going on with it. Good gracious alive. And the last one. Woo! Oh, one more. That gold bead front dot is something spectacular. I don't want to step on my brass down there. I want to take that 357 back home with me. Think about 1,300 feet per second, but we'll show you the old average down there. Let's go down range and get a look at it. Let's check this out. 1390, 1364, 1337, 1328, 1299, 1422. A high of 1422, a low of 1299, for an average of 1356. Extreme spread of 123 and a standard deviation of 44. Man, that is pretty awesome. Let's see if we can get you a close-up of that target. That's what we want to do. We know I've got to do some work on my reloading setup, my Lee, because it's obviously not as accurate as I like it to be. But there it is, folks. That's all of the shots out of the Marlin 357 lever action. And by the way, that's an early model, guys. Really, really early. I think I've had it for about 15 years now. But there you have it. 357 Magnum, 187 grain cast. Woo! What a thumper. And I do believe the guys are right. That cast is what's considered to be the bone crusher. All right, folks. Man, everything's going wrong. So my battery has gone dead in my Zoom H1 that I use for audio, folks. So I'm using the mic on my camera. We'll see how this comes out. And by the way, I did intend to give you some ballistics gel tests from both of those rounds. But unfortunately, I've got nothing to sit the ballistics gel on top of, and I don't want to sit it on the dirty ground, and I don't know how I would achieve that anyways. So it looks like I might need to start carrying a 5-gallon bucket in my car to sit the ballistics gel on top of. But neither here nor there. Instead, what we're going to do, we've backed up to 30 yards or 30 paces, long steps being 6'4", approximately 30 yards. We're going to put, I think I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds in the old Taurus tracker. We're going to see how accurate I can be at 30 yards with these loads. And then we're going to do the same thing with the Marlin. 30 yards, let's put them down range. Single action. The first couple, I'm cheating. All right. Be right back. Folks, this is a lot of work. Man, and when you haven't been to the range, you kind of get out of rhythm a little bit. I didn't start the camera down range, so I had to leave, go down range, start the camera. That's the first shot you're looking at there. Now, let's get these other 4 shots down range. 2. 3. 4. 5. Not bad. At 30 yards or approximately 30 yards, I've got 3 on a 3-inch shoot and see down range. Now we're going to take the old Marlin and see what we can do. Be right back. All right, guys, I got the old Marlin loaded up with 4 rounds. I've got 4 left. Let's see what we can do from 30 yards with the old Marlin and 187 grain cast bullet. Take it off safe. Woo-hoo! Let's make this 4th one count. That Gold B front sight is the truth. It is absolutely the business. Matched up with this Skinner front sight, that Skinner front sight right there. It is absolutely the truth, folks. What a great match between the two. Hey folks, thank you for joining us over on the Reloaders Network and joining me over at dayattherange.com. If you want to see a full review on the old Marlin, you can see a written review over at dayattherange.com that I've done. But next time we come out, folks, it will be some ballistics gel, and to see which one truly is the bone crusher, the 130 grain HST or the 187 grain cast bullet. Mr. Revolver Guy, signing out. All right, folks, I couldn't leave. I feel like I let you down on the ballistics gel, and I truly do apologize for that, Reloaders Network and range fans. So instead, we're going to do a long range test with 130 grainers. Most say at about 50 yards, this thing starts to tumble. Well, I'm at 45 paces or 45 yards from the target down range. I do have the camera down range set up. We're going to see how well I can do with seven of these bad boys loaded up in the Taurus 357 Magnum. Let's get to it. Wish me luck and wish that I don't shoot my camera. Do this single action. I'm going to aim dead center. It's one. Oh man, that's low and left. Oh wow, I don't even think it caught the camera down range. Ooh, that's interesting. So I got to aim a tad bit higher. I'm not sure exactly where these things shoot my first time with this particular load at this distance. So let's see if we can get them on target. Not doing too well. All right, now I know where I have to aim. At the top of the target to get it to hit in the middle. Man, these hollow base wad cutters or these Federal HST full wad cutters, man, they have some serious drop on them at 45 yards. Six. Should be the last round. It should be 7. That is 7. Let's go down range and take a look at the target. I'm afraid to look. Wow, the 130 grainers, man, not as accurate as I would like them to be. Kind of a little bit all over the place. So I had to hold a little bit of Kentucky windage to get them on the target where I wanted them to. They don't seem to be tumbling at 45 yards. That's good news, but I definitely expect better accuracy. And most likely, folks, it's me. But anyways, that truly is the end of this video. Mr. Revolver Guy, I'm out, folks.